as we get older, simplifying your life in one respect is necessary because the body doesn't have the same energy. So that's one thing. The other thing is that because the demand on you lessens, you know, if you're a breadwinner, and you've got some security, you don't have to work as hard as you did before, it would make sense to look and see, you know, how do you want to use your life? How do you want to spend your time during the day? And I think the way it plays out is if you look at it from an awareness perspective, the way it plays out is eliminating a lot of the unnecessary distractions, you know, eliminating a lot of the places where you spend energy that it's not necessary to do that. Obviously, to practice more is desirable because, you know, you want to experience the truth. You want to experience the self-awareness. You want to experience the state of well-being that's available all the time. And you want to take advantage of the opportunity that you have to spend time without a lot of activity, without a lot of mental activity. In the ordinary course of events, you could say that if there was a radio playing over here that was playing beautiful classical music, but at the same time that was the case, you have a TV over here playing, and you have somebody over here that's talking to you, and you have a pet over here that's barking, and you have, you know, a computer monitor over here that's on, and you have another device, a telephone that's playing, right? In the normal course of events, there's so much mental activity going on in the mind that beautiful classical music isn't heard because of all the noise, all the different noise. And so by using meditation and practicing, you know, being quiet and, you know, reducing the amount of distractions that are occurring, it becomes possible to hear that classical, beautiful music that you couldn't hear before. And of course, in this metaphor, the classical music is your true nature, you know. And so that's the whole purpose of meditation, is to slow down, to not be completely preoccupied and involved with all of the stimulation that's typically going on around us all the time, so that we can discover the possibility of just being still and being in this place of emptiness, in this place of quiet and stillness and silence, so that the mind can rest, so that the mind can regenerate itself in a fresh way. One of the ways this is talked about is like in agriculture, farmers don't plant the same crop over and over and over again in the same field because it destroys the soil, right? So what do? At some point, they don't plant anything on that field and leave it alone for a year. Just, you know, plant nothing for a year. Just leave it alone for a year. And by doing that, it kind of develops more nutrition and more resources naturally, right? So that when you use the soil again, you can get a better crop, a more nutritious crop. In the same way, if we don't take time to you know, just experience silence and peace and nothing, the mind becomes cluttered, the mind becomes dull, the mind cannot produce the same quality of experiences, you know, because of its, especially now more than ever in this, the world we're living in now, there's more stimulation than there ever was. And so you see the effects of that with people. There's more of an issue with people not being able to maintain attention, ADHD, right? That didn't exist in the past, right? So it's more important now than it ever was to take the time. And in order to do that, if you're older, it makes sense to start to reorganize your life in a way where that time is being scheduled. The time for nothing is being scheduled. So as you get older, if you have a meditation practice, you can practice in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. Or you could practice more, small practices during the day. The idea is that you want to experience more of the essential reality of what you are so that you can start to move out of the complete identification with the physical body and the mental state. And by doing that, you're more able to experience a state of well-being, and you're more able to start to deal with the part of your life where there's going to be a decline, that there's going to be a physical decline. Your energy levels will start to dissipate. But that's not necessarily a problem if, along with that being the case, you start to reduce how much physical output, right? And start to increase how much stillness and how much appreciation that you're experiencing by just being aware of being aware. So it's inevitable, as the body ages and we approach death, it's also an important thing to begin to prepare ourselves for the end of our lives, prepare ourselves for the conclusion of the physical body, and to start to address that actively and consciously, in terms of allowing the understandings that the teachings give us about that, which allow us to be free from fear, allow us to be in a place where we can let go of our attachments, to the physical body or to anything that we feel attached to. And you can actually begin to pay attention to the idea of letting go of this world. Start to pay attention to the idea of letting go of this world and everything in it, Not with not with fear, not with sadness, but with a sense of completion, with the sense of that this is okay, this is natural to let go. And that takes some practice, because in order for you to really let go, you have to be able to calm the mind in such a way that the compulsive activity to survive starts to slow down, starts to relax, because your true nature doesn't need to survive. The younger you are, the more the survival operation is in the forefront, to stay alive, to get through life, to get by, and all the rest of it. But as you get older, you want to start to practice letting that go, because the awareness doesn't need to survive. The awareness can't be threatened. And this is the experience that we want to now bring to the forefront, so that the later years in life can be relaxed and the later years in life can be enjoyable. And you can consciously let go of all the things that you've been compulsively attached to, or let go of all the things that you've been using a lot of energy for, that you don't have the energy to do that type of thing anymore. Because when you let go, when we really let go and be what we are, then we are with everybody who is alive and everybody who's dead and everything that ever existed and everything that ever will exist. We are in that state. We're in that state. So you can do that. You can relax the physical body and calm the mind in such a way where you let go of time. You let go of space. You let go of, the material world. To experience don't know mind. What's don't know mind? Don't know mind is a mind in which you are able to let go of conceptualization, right? Able to let go of thinking, because thinking is conceptualization, right? to just let go of thinking. And if you let go of thinking and you experience your true nature, the true nature of awareness, true nature of the aware mind, right? It's literally no thing. It's literally nothing. You don't know anything. It's a don't know mind, and one of the Zen teachers called it a beginner's mind. You know, or another teacher, my teacher's teacher called it zero. Zero. There's nothing there. There's the potential, but there's nothing there. It's zero. And to experience zero is to experience the heart of the matter, is to experience your true nature, is to experience that which is the field in which everything that exists manifests in. That's zero, right? And it's possible to do that because that is not only your true nature, it is what you are. It is what we are. We're zero. You know, I thought that, I've mentioned here that when people consider going on a retreat, that, you know, it's something that it's out of the question, you know, and of course that's the mind reacting to the idea of going on a retreat. And I had never heard this, but this Zen master was sharing that he had done crazy retreats, you know, and they were talking about a retreat that some of these high-level practitioners do. It's a seven-day retreat, no food, no sleep, for 7 days. Meditate all the time for 7 days. No food, no sleep, meditate all the time, 24 hours a day for 7 days. Even going to a 7-day regular retreat, if you've had no retreat practice, if you've never done a retreat, you should get your feet wet. You know, go to a 1 day or a 3 day, something like that. But you know, I've known a lot of people that didn't go to any retreats before. I had a client that I was working with in my private practice, and she was a practitioner, a meditation practitioner. I was coaching her in meditation and everything. And we ended our connection as far as psychotherapy was concerned. She was, you know, she had completed what she wanted to get out of that. And I got an email from her the other day that she said she had gone up to Ithaca and done a retreat with my teacher. She had never done a retreat before. So, you know, she said that she thought it was incredible. It was an incredible experience to be up there. It was an incredible experience to spend time with him and get the teaching from him that he had to offer. So that really is something that at some point, if you're a serious practitioner, most meditation teachers who are the real deal, authentic teachers, they will say, if you're serious about meditation, and the reason you're serious about meditation is because you have some understanding about what the possibility is that it makes, you know, offers you, you know, this possibility of being awake, this possibility of being peaceful, this possibility of being happy and satisfied and complete. To the degree that you get that possibility and to the extent that you realize that it's always available, doesn't it seem natural that the next step would be to engage with it and take a deeper dive in it? That would be the next step. So if that's the case, and I'm assuming that I'm assuming that this occurs for you as something that is valuable. I'm assuming that this occurs for you as something that has something very important to offer you that could make a difference in your life and allow you to deal with things that in the past were overwhelming, or allow you to deal with things that are coming in the future that will be overwhelming, and allow you to really experience your life like an enjoyable reality, you know, so that you can get to a place where you can allow everything to be as it is. That's not an easy thing to do, eh? To allow everything to be as it is. And when I say that, I don't mean what's happening out there. I mean allow everything to be as it is out there and in here. Right? Because one of the things that's important to understand is as you wake up to the truth, what used to be, before you wake up to the truth, there used to be the outer world and the inner world, right? Yeah, the outer world and the inner world. The outer world and then in here, right, was my world. You know, my thoughts, my feelings, my physical sensations, my physical body, right? And then there's what's not that is out there, right? As you practice and you wake up, that shifts, and what used to be inner and outer, right, is all outer now. Your inner world becomes part of the outer world. Your inner world becomes part of the outer world, because now you're not identified with the thoughts and the emotions and seeing this as separated from out there. No, now you're seeing the whole thing is out there. Right? So that's a major shift, where you're now the awareness that's behind everything. There's nothing behind it. Everything is in front of it. All of what used to be the inner world is now part of what you're looking at, right? And this is what we mean when we talk about non-duality, because before there is non-duality, a non-dual experience, there is a dual experience, subject-object, right? Dual, inner, outer, subject-object. But once you wake up to the truth, right, there is no subject-object anymore. There is no inner, outer anymore. All there is what is. All there is what is. It's one thing now. It's just one thing now, right? And the awareness of all there is part of the experience of it. You know, eventually, if you stay with these practices and these teachings, you get to a place where you understand that awareness or consciousness is all there is. That's the ultimate non-dual experience, right? That awareness or consciousness is all there is. But you see, that's the whole thing about this, is that all these teachings and practices are pointing to the only real reality, which is what's happening right now. So that's what he said, the most important thing right now. They asked the Dalai Lama once, you know, what of all the experiences that you've had in your life, escaping from Tibet, you know, and everything else. I mean, he's in his 80s now, he's been around a long time. Of all the experiences you had in your life, what do you consider the most relevant, the most important experience? And the Dalai Lama said, the one I'm having right now. Because it's the only real one. It's the only real one, you know? And that's what these teachings are about. That's what Zen is about, focusing on the fact that what's happening at this very moment, right, is real. Right? Everything else is an illusion, right? What's happening at this very moment is real, and it is only possible to experience your true nature, and it is only possible to experience the experience of well-being in the present moment. That's the only possibility. So when we're practicing meditation, that's really what we're up to, because thinking is never in the present moment. Thinking is always after things happen, right? It's an interpretation of reality. It's after things happen. So when we move away from that, what are we moving to? The breath. When is the breath happening? Now. When you're staying with the breath, you're staying with reality. You're staying with the only real time, which is the present moment. So we're practicing learning how to live there, learning how to be aware of that and live there and pay attention to that. That's really the most important thing of the whole thing, right? That's more important than the teachings themselves, although the teachings are valuable, right? Because they give you insight into what you're doing when you're practicing, and that helps to motivate you to practice, right? But the practice itself is the heart of the matter. To do the practice every single day and sit in silence every single day. If you didn't get any teaching and you really did the practice and sat in silence every day and really moved your attention away, let go of the thinking activity, and really did experience the space of emptiness, really did experience the truth. Whatever way you express that would be fine, you know, because the truth is the same, always. And everybody talks different about it. I mean, if you look on the internet now at the different teachers that are out there, Rupert Spira talks about it one way. You know, Eckhart Tolle talks about it another way. Yaji Shanti talks about it another way. This Korean Zen master that I've been listening to talks about it another way. And although they're talking about it another way, you can tell they're pointing at the very same thing that is not different from one person to the next.